the Northwest University gained so much traction, during this 20-year period. Our home away from home, it all starts here. From achieving that feat of becoming the youngest female PhD graduate in the continent of Africa at 23 years old. When I was first year, I was 16 years old. My parents, obviously sent me out there into the jungle, a 16-year-old. Nonetheless, I was able to find my way and navigate. Thankfully, not many people assumed my age. They just thought maybe I had a baby face, But my dad is a teacher. My mom has an early childhood teaching background, although she didn't pursue that full-time, but she homeschooled us. And this is why I started school when I was 4 years old. So definitely they're my biggest inspirations, I'll say. So I applied for 2 other courses or qualifications. Industrial psychology and HR were my third choice. But it so happened that my application went to the wrong campus. And so by the time I did a reapplication, the first and second choice were already full. Growing up, a lot of family members, friends would call me doctor because they thought I would be a medical doctor. But as life would have it, I would be another kind of doctor of philosophy. So I guess it did work out for good in the end, yeah. I'm actually very grateful to the Northwest University for giving me a chance, considering how young I was. Anyone under 21 had to have, your guardian or your parent sign. So can you believe, all the way until my master's, my parents were co-signing my applications. Life comes with its challenges, but how do you approach those challenges? What is the mindset that you enter into these various periods of adversity with? And also understanding, very importantly as well, that it's not only about you. There are other people who draw strength, encouragement, and inspiration from the things that we do, even when we don't realize that. And that's one thing I learned from achieving that feat of becoming the youngest female PhD graduate in the continent of Africa at 23 years old. I was doing it initially for me, but when I saw the impact that it had on other people, from then on, I've come to appreciate that anything that I approach in life, I need to have a certain level of discipline and that grounding, knowing that it's not only for me. There are other young women, who read these stories, they get to learn about these things. One of the things that has been most meaningful to me when it comes to the NWU is the sense of community. There was always such a sense of community. Many of us, who studied there, we call it our home away from home. It became such a home for us. So I would say the NWU gets the sense of community right. Even when it comes to having a career at the university, right? We need to appreciate that at the end of the day, we're still human beings outside of who we are within the work environment. And the NWU embraces that. So for young people aspiring to get into the academic space, I would say, firstly, it's important to know who you are and where best you would fit, where your strengths lie, your gifts, your skills, your talents, right? First need to understand whether that is what's good for you, because remember, there are other lives involved. Imagine a doctor who is in the profession just because, maybe their friends were doing medicine and they decided to go there. How many lives would be at risk? And in the academic space, you're dealing with lives. So young people, know who you are, understand what it is that you want to do. But if it is what you want to do, I encourage young people to pursue it because of the opportunities that it avails, first of all, to impact the lives of other people, whether or not you realize it. But it's always just important to make sure that the motives behind it are good. What I would say to a young person in matric who may not have the opportunity to go to university is that you'll see other inspiring people, whether young or old, who may not have had the opportunity to acquire a formal education, but the things that they do with their gifts, sometimes it's even more than those of us who acquired the formal education. And the difference all lies in perspective. How do you see life? And so perspective becomes so important when it comes to, such a position where someone is not able to access higher education. I'd say my family is my proudest achievement. Having a daughter is actually one of my biggest blessings. Just like it all starts here at the Northwest University, also with children, once they leave your home, they go out into the world. It all started in your home. My aspiration is to never be so caught up with everything else I'm doing or have to do that I neglect my own children, my own daughter who's right in my household. I really pray to be a good mother, a good parent to her. I believe what's next for me is a continued effort to be who I am, the aspiration that I have developed over the years to impact other lives, other people's lives, whether it's the students that I teach, my colleagues. I think the question though, that what's next, you just never know. And I can't put my exact finger on it, but what I can guarantee is I will always do my best. I will continue to do my best. I'm always thinking about how I ended up in my field, right? In the field of industrial psychology, people management, HR. And I realized that life, destiny, God led me to where I am. And so even though I had a different vision for my life, but life led me here to where I am now. And that for me tells me, that life will lead me where I need to be. Even my decision to become an academic, which is another thing I'm so grateful to the NWU for, is that exposure. And so I'm very grateful for those opportunities. And of course, in life, the foundation is very important. The foundation is what, prepares the building of the rest of the structure. If you don't get the foundation right, then the structure may not, stand well. I think for me, that is why the tagline of the Northwest University, that it all starts here, is so true.